Hey guys, welcome back to Return of the Nerd. Don't forget to subscribe and click that like button and turn on the notifications. Today we're going to talk about the new full-length trailer which just dropped, and basically there's quite a lot to talk about. So the first trailer we saw really didn't reveal much of anything, and we already know the backstory because we've seen seasons 1, 2 and 3. But the trailer we saw yesterday, I felt, revealed quite a lot of other stuff, and especially in terms of characters and the opportunities for us toy collectors is quite good. So I hope Hasbro's done their homework on this movie and we can get some really cool new creatures, because there's quite a lot of aliens in this. I don't know if you noticed, like most of the characters, there's actually a nice balance between the humanoid characters and the alien creatures. Some of them are alien creatures that we've seen before, which is nostalgic. So for example, the big reveal was Embo, the bounty hunter. Now if it really was Embo, and then to get that figure again in 3.75 and especially in the Black Series would be phenomenal. So it looks like Din Djarin has a chip on his shoulder. He's bent out of shape because of what happened in season 3 with the dark saber being crushed and the whole nightmare of having to deal with Moff Gideon. So he's, I think, Colonel Ward, which is Sigourney Weaver's character's kind of telling him, you know, don't go Maverick. This is not about revenge. This is about avoiding another war. It's kind of funny how she's giving him cards, and he's like, we will find every single one of these people and eliminate them from your pack of cards. What does that remind you of? Oh yes, Saddam Hussein and the Iraq War. I wonder who's at the top of the deck. Is it Grand Admiral Thrawn? Do they even know at this point about Thrawn's existence or his return of? Because these shows are all supposed to tie into one another. The Ahsoka show had Thrawn introduced to the audience and had him come back in from the unknown regions, and he is the guy who's in charge of the Shadow Council. The Shadow Council is like this fragmented group of warlords that managed to hold on to a small part of power after the Galactic Empire collapsed. I guess this is where the narrative is going. We're going in that direction, aren't we? The Shadow Council. Some of the people that we saw in the trailer, the guy with the bald head, and there's the guy in the chair and he says, long live the Empire. Okay, we've seen them. They were in season 3, I think, of The Mandalorian. So it's pretty much confirmed that the Shadow Council is back. They're having this top secret meeting. Maybe Din Djarin is going to infiltrate and try to assassinate some of these members, and along the way there will be all these, you know, obstacles put in front of him. He needs to seek favors from despicable people, like for example Rotter the Hutt, in order to get the information that he wants to find out the whereabouts of these nasty Shadow Council individuals. It's nice to see that Rio Durant is back. I mean, it's not him, it's the same species, but if you remember Solo, A Star Wars Story, there's an alien creature with 4 arms, and that, in the Black Series, is one of my favorite alien creatures of all time, Rio Durant. So the guy at the street vendor guy he talks to, he's, can you tell me the whereabouts of any huts? And he's like, nope, we're closed. That would be a great figure, but I don't think we'll get that because that's just a little small cameo role that was just put in there for Martin Scorsese. I'm a little bit confused as to why the twins are in this from the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, I understand that the twins don't live on Tatooine anymore. They said they were moving away because the Pike Syndicate was taking over. So are we going to see some of the Pike Syndicate? Don't know. This image here of these, it looks like Jabba's temple on Tatooine, but it's not, because this is a forested, you know, kind of jungle climate. I think that this is probably where the twins are hiding out. Din Djarin has to go face them, and they set a challenge for him. We see the Mandalorian with his helmet off, so maybe he has to prove himself to the Hutt Gangland crew in order to, you know, get to the next level on his quest. He has to slay some beast. There's this horrible, nasty looking white snake. I mean, that's with those big fangs. That looks terrifying. I thought I saw some HK droids. Everything happened so fast, you know. There was so much action in this second trailer. I felt that this movie, I just have this gut instinct that this movie is going to be very fast paced. It's going to have a lot of action scenes, a lot of fight scenes. And at the same time, Jon Favreau is trying to cram in as much story as possible, which might not work. I don't know. And also, there seems to be an over dependence on CGI. I don't particularly like that. that. But that's just me because I'm from a certain generation where we grew up with no CGI. It does look a little bit like the Avengers style action movie. So that's my only concern, is this is going to look like a Marvel extravaganza rather than a Star Wars movie. My prediction is that Jon is setting up the showdown with Grand Admiral Thrawn, but that's not going to happen in this movie. That will come up later on. I think that this is going to deal with the weaknesses of Luke's New Republic, how fragile it is, and it's going to show the other, like how determined the Shadow Council are, and maybe once Thrawn reconnects with them, then all hell's going to break loose, and then the Republic gets overthrown and it's a big mess. I don't know, but it seems like that's the direction the story is kind of going in. Whether or not we see Luke in this movie, who knows? Ahsoka, who knows? There's probably a whole bunch of characters that might pop up and say, hello there. I don't really mind as long as it's consistent with what we've seen already from Mandalorian's seasons 1, 2, 3, and obviously with Boba Fett and Ahsoka. Everything kind of ties in and is consistent, even though Kathleen Kennedy did meddle with the story of the Book of Boba Fett and season 3 of The Mandalorian. It still does make sense. But I want you guys to tell me, what was your favorite scene from the trailer? My favorite scene was when Din Djarin used his flamethrower, and he knew that there was 2 snowtroopers basically around the corner, and he just takes them out. And I like the way that the snowtroopers are kind of like moving, like very professionally, like squatting down, using their kind of pieing the corner like real military people do. And Din Djarin just steps in there and just blasts them away, and then walks. He's like even shoots the guy over his shoulder. That was a pretty cool scene. I think that whole fight scene with the Atat Walker, or maybe with him in, getting into the remnant base, will be quite an exciting fight scene. I'm a little bit worried about what Grogu's doing, because seems like he's going off on some side quest. You see a lot of images of him meditating in the trees in a jungle somewhere. The environments that he is shown in are not the same as Din Djarin, so it seems like they get separated at some point, but maybe come back together again at the end of the movie. And there's a nice quote where Din Djarin says he needs to take care of himself. He needs to learn to grow up and be independent, because this guy, he's going to live for hundreds and hundreds of years way beyond my existence. And I thought, yeah, that's cool. I think that's kind of another poking Kathleen Kennedy because of what she did in season 3, basically taking Grogu away and then putting him straight back into Din Djarin's arms again, which makes no sense. And also I'm very happy that the Razor Crest is back as well. I don't know why Jon Favreau would decide to give him another Razor Crest, but this is Star Wars. Anything can be rebuilt. This is a spaceship. Come on. But I tell you what cannot be rebuilt: IG-11. I am getting very sick and tired of this. So Hasbro released images of upcoming TVC IG-11, and he is the Marshal of Navarro. Is he? Is he really? Now, I put this question to the people in the groups in Facebook and on Instagram and on my YouTube channel, and some people said, are you a dummy? Do you even watch Star Wars? IG-11 becomes the Marshal in the very last episode, probably in like the last scene, and it's like 5 seconds long. Woo, that really warrants a figure, huh? There's no meaning to it. So let's see, IG-11 the whole time in season 1 threatens to blow himself up. He's going to self-destruct, initiate self-destruct. No, please don't do that. But he doesn't do it, and he saves the day by walking through lava. So he walks through the lava tunnel and dissolves, then he detonates himself and blows himself to pieces, so there's absolutely nothing of him left. Now in season 3 there's a statue of him, but I thought it was just a statue, but it's not, it's actually him. And Grief Karga says, yeah, we found some parts and we put them back together again. This almost as ridiculous as the Death Star 2.0 blows up and Palpatine dies in Return of the Jedi, and then in The Rise of Skywalker they find parts of the Death Star. They find Palpatine's throne room, and his chair's sitting there, and it's in like, just got a little bit of dust on it. I mean, what the? That's just garbage. IG-11, he's dead. He's gone. In season 1, he was gone. Do not resurrect these characters. It is ruining the quality of these shows. All right, let's have a little chat about Rota. I think that The Mandalorian basically beats the crap out of all of those gladiator hollow chess piece monsters, and Rota's not very happy about that, so he challenges him to a personal duel, and Mando probably kicks his butt and then has to escape and run. And there's that whole chase scene, which is quite funny, with little baby Grogu. He jumps into the there's a baby Greedo, and a baby Grogu, and he uses the pod to fly away. And he's like, "What are you waiting for? Let's go!" And there's a lovely tribute to Carl Weathers, which I think is appropriate. Sometimes I complain about, cameos and Easter eggs and stuff, and there's too much of it, but this one I feel is really touched my heart because Carl Weathers died it just seems so recent, like literally a year ago that he went. And it was so sudden as well. He seemed to be in really good health, and then suddenly, he's gone. And it's so sad, and he's such an iconic actor from back in the 70s and the 80s when I grew up. Apollo Creed, he was in Predator, just Dylan, you son of a... Yeah, I think that was really nice to put that in Arabesh at the top there. I hope we get to see the X-Wings in action. Because we've got Colonel Ward and we've got Zeb, and I hope that we see the X-Wing base actually operational and they have to scramble all of their X-Wings and Y-Wings and go somewhere, jump to hyperspace, and there's this nice battle. I like aerial battles as well. There's a lot of hand-to-hand combat in The Mandalorian. I think that there's kind of an overfocus of hand-to-hand melee combat because he's a bounty hunter. But I would like to see a traditional aerial assault where there's a big battle in space or something. That would be really cool to see. So you guys put in the comment section below, what did you think about this new fall trailer? And I don't think we'll get much more information, because if Jon reveals too much, then it's going to spoil it. I don't like trailers just give away the entire plot. I don't even need to see any Hasbro action figures, actually, because I've seen the characters that are going to be in it and they look super cool, especially Embo. So yeah, what do you guys think? And I'll see you again in another one. So may the force be with you. And is this the way?